Message from a Tank Davis fan. Listen, guys, the only reason Tank Davis didn't show up against Lamont Roach is because he didn't show up against Lamont Roach. Everything that God put me through, I was built for it. Everything I got, it worked hard for the bills. Know it. Demon 750 rolling hard. I'ma keep short. Streets to the red carpet ride. Yo, you bitch know it. The skunk destroys the punk to stop it. The truth is sunk the boat of nonsense. They lean and ox and fiend a little bit. The skunk be shining bright a little bit. Boy, ghetto red, punching bag skunk. It was not Tank Davis fighting. It was Gervonta Davis or the businessman Davis. Listen, Tank needs to be mad in a fight. He needs to be angry. He needs to be mad at somebody. Without his anger, yeah, he has no edge. There's no edge. I know there's fighters. I know there was fighters that was like that. I know personally fighters like that they wasn't upset about something, they couldn't fight effectively. When Tank wants to rip your head off, he's dangerous at that point. That's the point that he's dangerous. That businessman Tank, you know, he's a puppy. That guy, he's a puppy. And look, I knew he had no edge when he refused to yell at Lamont at one of their press conferences. I seen their press conference, and he said Lamont was talking trash to him, and he didn't want to say anything back. He said he don't want to say nothing because Lamont's mother was dead. Yeah. Listen, the monster would punch Lamont's mother for being Lamont's mother. You know, there's no way. Tank needs to be angry to fight his fight. That's the whole point. It had nothing to do with the hair grease gate, that thing about his hairdo. It had nothing to do with their history as amateur fights. You know, their trilogy, whatever, as an amateur. It had nothing to do with none of that stuff. And it definitely had nothing to do with the rapper Jim Jones walking him to the ring like them two idiots Cameron and Mace said on their show. Yeah, this is why these guys shouldn't be in boxing. They're not fighters. If Tank likes you, he has no edge. It's that simple. If he feels you disrespected him, that's when he becomes extremely dangerous. Look, me being a hardcore Tank fan, believe me, he lost half of his Superman powers when he left when him and Calvin split for this new snake that's in his corner. I don't know this guy. I don't even like him. I don't even know who he is. When are these good boys going to realize that you stick with who got you there? You have to stick with who got you there. Look. What happened to Deontay Wilder when he fired Mark Breland? When he fired Mark Breland, he nosedived after that. Exactly. Once Mark Breland was gone, he was toast, brother. Al Heyman, Leonard Ellaby, whoever's matching Tank Davis needs to give him fighters like Ricardo Mayorga. Remember him? He's always talking junk. He'll get under your skin. Tank needs fighters who are going to get under his skin. You know, they got to rankle him. They call it rankle him because other than that, he can't be friends. Tank is not Floyd. He's a throwback. He can't be that businessman that Floyd is. Tank needs to be in the 70s and 80s when fighters fought for more than just money. When fighters back in the day fought, they left all the promoting stuff to the promoters and the managers and the matchmakers and all that. They just train and fight. Tank needs to be there. He can't be in this new school everywhere. Everyone wants to be a promoter and a fighter. Lamont Roach was destined to be a tough opponent for him. I'm a businessman, Gervonta. He was destined to be a tough opponent for that guy. But he's nothing for Tank Davis. You beat Gervonta Davis, but he won't beat Tank Davis. I don't like the rematch for Tank, because he's the star, and I just don't think there's nothing he can get out of it, even a win. He should just slip out of the rematch clause, the same way Canelo been doing it for years. He's the man. He can do it. When it comes down to dollars, they'll listen. I don't even like him against Shakur Stevenson either. I know everybody wants to see that fight. I don't like that fight for him because at this point, Shakur Stevenson sounds desperate to fight him because he knows it's his biggest payday. You know what I mean? He is not going to be about fighting. He's going to be about business. So even during the pre-fight build-up, it's just going to be about business. It's not going to be personal. Tank needs it to be personal. This is why my era was better. Roberto Duran gave Ray Leonard, Leonard's wife, a finger at their press conference. This is how raw we was. Their brawl in Montreal was a business success, but there was a fight first. All right, and they went toe-to-toe for 15 rounds. The money was secondary. They didn't come out after the fight, and I want to thank everybody for showing up to my fight. And they didn't do all that foolishness. They didn't thank the crowd for showing up, the press for showing up. All this foolishness they do today. The nice guy, Gervonta Davis, is going to get slaughtered eventually if he doesn't get his fire back. The monster that's Tank Davis will slaughter fighters. New school don't understand stuff like the eye of the tiger. They don't get it. They just because they're too into numbers and statistics and all. They grew up on that statistics and belts and they grew up on that era, but they don't know nothing about what's inside. They don't understand what would make a fighter literally bite a guy's ear off. Mentally they don't understand that. They don't understand what would make a fighter punch a guy south of the border. You know, they don't get that. They only understand rules and regulations. That's why they always talk about injuries. That's why they're always worried about injuries. That's why they just don't get it. Real fighters only care about fucking somebody up. That's it. Sorry to tell you, but that's really what real fighters only think about. They don't think about injuries. They don't think about numbers. They don't think about selling tickets. Tank Davis would never talk about retirement in his prime, you know, if Gervonta Davis talks about that. There's too many people out there for him to beat down. So I don't like Tank versus Lomachenko either, because Gervonta respects him. And Tank, listen, you know what Tank needs? He needs a Mexican. A Mexican will make it racial, even if people deny it, they're gonna deny it, but that'll make it racial. And a Mexican will restore some of that Baltimore killer to his soul. Because right now, Hollywood is stealing his edge. He's Hollywood now. You know what I mean? He's stealing his edge. He needs to go back to his old trainer, Calvin Ford, back to his roots. It's the same way Apollo took Rocky back. Remember when Apollo Creed took Rocky back to his roots to get that fire back? Listen, Teofimo Lopez would be a good fight because at this time, brothers hate Teofimo for his comments, his alleged racial comments. And you know, Mexicans will support Teofimo because all Hispanics become one when it's against a non-speaking individual. It is what it is. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Hondurans, Guatemalans, Mexicans, they all morph into one flag when they're threatened. Then they're not individual anymore, they're just Hispanic. They're not Guatemalan, they're Hispanic. They're not Dominican, they're Hispanic. But they return their flag when the threat is over. But when there's a threat to that community, they all morph into one. Fighting one of them will secretly bring brothers back together. See, there will be some well, you know, there's gonna be some sellout niggas talking about, I don't see color crap, but overall Tank would have to defend us. He's a hood dude. He's a hood dude. He's from Baltimore, he's from America, inner city hood. That's him. That's us. That's the black. You know what I mean? So he'd have to defend that. By the way, my fellow black people, when Hispanics, whites, Arabs, or anybody starts with you're a racist crap, tell them to fuck off. Them are normally the racist ones. They're the ones that, because they favor their own, but they won't admit it, while the whole time trying to call you racist for supporting your own. Don't fall for that okie doke. You know, they do the same damn thing. Stop being guilted into not supporting your own. Nobody in the world beats a properly motivated hood nigga, period. It ain't gonna happen. All right, so listen, Tank, hope to see you soon, Tank Davis, because, you know, we miss you, brother. Peace.